Refreshing my page. Making sure everyone can hear us okay. Refreshing my page. Yeah, okay, we are live. All right, perfect. Welcome back, everybody, to Chit, Chat, Geek Out. I'm your host, Steven, and today on the show, we are joined by the cast from the Black Christmas fan film, It's Me, Billy, which was directed and written and produced by Dave McCrae and Bruce Dale. And with me today are the stars Victoria, Mero, Malaika Hennie-Hamadi, and Shelby Handley.
Hello.
Hey guys. Thanks guys for being here today. I love the film. It was excellent. I was actually kind of blown away. And yeah, you guys are phenomenal. If anyone hasn't seen the Black Christmas fan film, It's Me, Billy, I highly recommend it. As you know me, I'm a huge horror nerd. So if you guys haven't seen it, the link is down in the description below. And we do have a live chat open as well. So if you guys have any questions for the cast, feel free to send them in. But I want to start off today's show by talking about working on It's Me, Billy, and my first question I had for you guys, and we will get into how you guys also got in the acting industry as well. But I was kind of curious, as far as you guys being in the film, how was the casting process? Did you guys audition, or did they reach out to you to audition? We can go first by Victoria, or whoever wants to go first.
Sure, I'll go first. So basically how it happened was they put oh my gosh, it's just me. Is it supposed to be just me?
Yeah.
Okay. So they put out an audition posting basically on, it was Mandy, I think maybe a couple other things. And then basically as an actor, you always are scrolling through different audition postings and I don't know about you guys, but I found it for myself. My agent didn't find it for me just because I like horror. So I was looking through it, and I think I got a notification that said something like, looking for a brunette horror actor between these ages. So then I clicked on it, and it was Dave's post. And I mentioned this in another interview, but the reason I got drawn to it was because it was such an enthusiastic post. It was like, hey guys, all in caps. It was like, we're really excited, and using all these exclamation points. It was so nice. And I was like, yes, these are the people who I want to work with. They seem really cool. So then I submitted myself for it. So you submit your demo reel, your headshot, and your resume. And then they saw my headshot, saw my resume, saw my demo reel, thought maybe I'd be a good fit. They gave me an audition. And then I did, I think, the dining room scene, the porch scene with Emma, and then I did another scene. Oh, I had to walk around as if it was really eerie, and I sent it in, and then about maybe a week-ish later, then Dave called me with the part. So it was it's a pretty good audition process, very straightforward, and yeah, it was fun.
Wow, awesome. And the same goes for you guys as well, or how was your experience?
Mine was the same. Mine was the exact same. I saw the posting on Mandy. I had to submit the exact same scenes actually that Victoria did, and then had to walk around like with my laptop trying to record myself being afraid that there might be a killer in my house, which was horribly embarrassing, but I guess they liked it. So there you go.
It was pretty much the same thing for me as well. I think we all had like similar scenes, and then the big scene where we had to pretend that a killer was in the house, and we were just running and had to do like a big scream too. So that was fun. I love doing that. Horror is amazing. The scream is always, top tier. So it was fun. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I gotta say, because I was following the project since the beginning, and when they first announced you guys, especially Victoria, I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks like Olivia Hussey. I'm like, thank God. It's so cool because obviously people know that we've never got a real true Black Christmas sequel. And honestly, I said this to Dave, and I published it as soon as I saw the movie. I had the advanced screening, so I backed the project up, and I said it was like a true sequel. I couldn't believe how good it was. Because you know what? I'm being honest. There's so many fan films out there, and a lot of them aren't that good. I'm just being honest, and it's hard to make it work, and it's hard to make it feel authentic. And Dave and Bruce and you guys, everyone involved did just that. So I was so happy. It was really well done. And when you guys got the part, I should say, and did you? I'm sure you guys saw like the original film before you did the movie. It's Me, Billy. Did you guys study the characters from the original Black Christmas to help match the tone for the fan film?
I didn't, because my character and Shelby's character were new, and so there wasn't really anyone to go off of. But yeah, it was just the tone of the movie. Personally, is what I kind of went off of. All the characters were amazing, and so I guess in a way, it's like kind of like picking, a certain thing from everybody and trying to make it new for myself, and working with what I got. And I think, or I hope that it resonated well on screen. But I mean, all the characters, honestly, watching the film and studying the film for the first time when Dave, said that I got the role, it didn't feel complicated. It didn't feel difficult. I didn't feel anxiety about like, oh my God, I have a new character. Like, how do I do this? He made us feel very comfortable, made myself feel comfortable. So just going in with a new set of eyes was definitely a challenge, but a fun challenge for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Shelby, do you want to go next?
Sure, yeah. I would say the same thing for me, because just to repeat what Malaika said, basically, coming in as an entirely new character, you do want to continue to have that tone and like have the essence of the film, but it is a different time and your characters are brand new people, and so you are bringing new things into this sort of universe and story that already exists. So for me, I felt like watching the film through and getting a good sense of it was a good base, but then sort of taking moments to myself and to my own character throughout, and really just like playing off of the other girls and what they were bringing to the table. So not getting too set in like a particular idea about something, but kind of being able to create something that felt organic in the moment.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's a bit different because my grandmother was in the film,
Mm-hmm.
and I did know when I got casted that they wanted to hire someone who kind of did look like Olivia Hussey and had a resemblance towards her, specifically in certain shots, like when you're on the phone and there's Billy talking, and just having that kind of, that was kind of an iconic shot in the first one that they kind of wanted to replicate in our movie. So I did definitely pay attention to the phone calls and seeing how she reacted in those and kind of playing off of that. But also just in general, like what Malaika and Shelby said, the whole atmosphere and the mood of the movie. I knew that, well, Dave is very mood and atmosphere kind of guy. Yeah. So I definitely took that from it, and that really helped inform my acting as well. And also just kind of getting to know Olivia Hussey's character. That's my grandmother, and it's a big part of the storyline. So what was my character like? Oh, she was very strong in this movie. She made really bold decisions. She was a very strong woman. So just kind of getting the sense of my grandmother from the movie and like implementing that into my characterization for the relationship with my grandmother, if that makes sense. So yeah, the mood and atmosphere, but also the relationship with my grandma. For sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Kudos to Dave and the people that helped doing the casting, because yeah, you guys, as I said, like you guys were phenomenal, and you could really tell that you guys kind of studied your character, got into that character. You can really tell it on screen, and yeah, it was great. And obviously, probably for me, like home invasion movies are probably the ones that scare me the most. Like the movie The Strangers is terrifying. So for you guys, and Black Christmas is like it's home invasion as well. What's your biggest fears?
I'm scared of heights. Oh, sorry, did Malaika speak?
No,
I wasn't too sure. Oh, sorry, I thought you said something and I cut you off. No, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't really, I didn't really realize it was a fear until I was in theater school. And there was like this huge theater, and there was like a stage, and then there was like a spiral staircase that went all the way up to the top where you kind of do I mean, I'm a theater, I don't remember what this is, the scene things. Oh, God. But I had to go all the way up to the top. It was terrifying. I remember shaking, and I couldn't get down the stairs, and my professor had to continue on the lecture as I'm trying to get down the stairs. I was like, I never realized I was that scared of heights. Or standing on my brother's condo, he's like the top floor. And even just being out there, I feel like I have to really study myself. So that's probably what I would say. But also, intruders are really scary too.
I would have to say, okay, I don't know if you guys know that movie, that old, is it Disney? The Haunted Mansion with
I love that movie.
Yeah.
First off, your movie is so good. That scene where the son has to go into he was like at a gravesite or graveyard.
The Coliseum?
Huh? No.
With the spiders?
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't.
No, that already is a no for me.
You had to face the stairs and open, and I couldn't do it. I cannot do I can do small spaces, but small spaces with like spiders or insects, it's I can't. So that's probably number one for me. Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, I'm okay with small spaces. I'm okay with heights. But yeah, you lost me at spiders. That would be help me out. Pass. Not for me.
Oh man. Yeah, those are good answers. And I have to, I can't do ladders. Like Victoria's, I can't. They're too narrow, and then
They're too narrow. And I even had to hang lights, like the theater lights. I had to carry this huge thing. I'm like 2 pounds, and I had to carry this thing up a ladder, and it was honestly terrifying. I didn't do it. I couldn't do it.
And to follow up on Malaika and Shelby, it's funny. Every night after reading that you swallow like 7 spiders apparently each year while you're asleep, I'm not lying. Every night I check my walls in my room, make sure there's nothing crawling, and then I go to bed.
Yeah, no, that's
literally.
Yeah.
I choose to admit that as a fact from my mind. Thanks for reminding me.
Same, Shelby.
Back to it as well. I know when I was watching an interview that Dave did with you guys on his channel. You guys talked about starting acting. I think you all did theater work, and So, anyone that doesn't know, not familiar with you guys, how did you guys get into the acting and end up becoming an actor in the film industry?
I mean, again, when I was younger, I feel like we all have kind of similar stories.
Yeah.
In the beginning, at least, we just knew we had this inclination that performing was something that we loved, that made us feel comfortable and at peace. So, performing in front of our parents, my parents, at daycare, singing the most random stuff ever, and then theater. When I got to high school, I did a lot of that. We had a great production that toured a bit for the summer, so that was really fun. And then acting classes while I was in university. I was doing something completely different, and just staying on it. Even if you don't go to school for acting at first, there's always classes you can do. So I did a lot of film and TV because I found that I loved that a lot more than theater. Theater's amazing, but I think for me personally, I just had a deeper connection with film and television. And then from there, it was history. Hopefully, that continues, working towards doing more projects. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Shelby, go ahead.
All right. Okay. We're all too nice. We're just we'll wait for it to go.
I know.
Very similar to Malaika. I grew up performing, putting on dances for my parents, the whole bit. But I would also be in a lot of like church plays when I was really little. And then when I got to high school, I did theater all throughout high school. I actually didn't perform a lot when I was in university. But at the end of high school, I started getting into film, and then I kind of took a break while I was in school. But film has always just been like a media for performance that has really spoken to me, and I find it just a really different type of connection that you can have with the character. And theater is so different because you're connecting with the audience all the time, which is a really special experience to have. But film is just like a little bit more intimate, I find, which is something that I really like. And you can kind of go a little bit deeper into the character and really find those nuances, as Dave likes to use. And now we're here. I loved reading when I was a kid, and that kind of like my imagination would just go wild. So reading scripts and kind of transitioning that way. Here we are now.
Great.
Mine's basically exactly the same. Yeah, like the girl said, from like the age of like 2 or 3, it was just parents watch me do all these things because I love performing and you have to watch me. So there was that. And then I think I was 8 when I started doing plays. I started doing musical theater. I continued doing that forever, basically. I think I was 12 when I got my first agent and did some film work, some short films, I think commercials. Then I got my drama teacher at the time, not my drama teacher, but like outside of school kind of drama troupe thing. She ended up getting me an agent in Toronto and a modeling agent in Toronto. And that's just kind of what started my career. So I don't think I would have had my career if it wasn't for her. She was definitely a huge part of my acting career because she kickstarted everything. Finding an agent can be hard, but she was on it. She got all my pictures done for me, all the stuff like headshots. So she's a really huge part of my whole journey. So yeah, then I got my agent and then I did modeling and commercials and films through high school, decided to go to university for acting at York, to the conservatory. And then after I graduated, I decided I didn't want to do theater anymore because like Shelby said, it's just not theater is very big, but I liked a more authentic performance. When I first did my film classes in university, I just connected with it. It was more personable.
You got it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's
hard. You just have more of a connection, you know? So, and then, yeah, here we are. I've been doing acting ever since then and film classes after graduating and yeah, still going.
That's great, guys. That's awesome. And Victoria, you actually still do modeling too. So that's
I do.
It's cool. Awesome.
It's my other thing I do.
Yeah. You know what though? A lot of actors honestly do start off as being models as well.
Mm-hmm. Shelby does modeling as well a lot.
Oh, are you? Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great side gig, and especially too for photographers, it's great for them to have someone to photograph. I'm just looking at live chat. We have some fan questions that came in, so we can go ahead and read a couple of those. Mark Ryan asked, did you know at any point while filming It's Me, Billy, of the quality it would end up being, or was it hard to tell while you were filming?
I feel like we kind of knew that it would look really good because they had the same cameras and tech that I believe they said was used on the Joker film.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So, Bruce works at that company. I'm forgetting.
White's Internet.
Yes. And so, they told us everything they wanted to do. They're very organized with what they wanted to do and what equipment they wanted to use. And so they always looped us in. And hearing that, we were just like, oh, that's great. We just know what's going to look amazing because we really did trust in the process because we trusted in them and they trusted in us. So, yeah, to answer your question, we knew it would look really good. It was even more of a pleasant surprise in the end when we saw it all together.
Great.
Yeah. What she said. But also he would also show us, they would always show us, like after, if we did a scene, he could look at how awesome this looks.
Mhm.
And then he'd bring us over, we kind of get to see what it looked like. I think I knew how good of a quality it would be because they kept saying what camera they were using, but actually seeing it after we'd shoot a scene or like he'd take a picture of it or something, after seeing that, I knew what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it felt really good being on set, but sometimes you are on sets where you feel like you're doing a really good job and you feel really involved in the scene and you see it afterwards and it isn't what you felt like you were doing or what you thought you were kind of putting together, but the shots were just beautiful. Even before they did any of the editing or anything to them, like just seeing them on the monitor, they knew exactly what they wanted and they set up to execute it, and it all just turned out so beautifully.
That's great. I actually could relate to that because the cinematographer I used on my short last year, he had great equipment. I think he said that they shot the new Top Gun movie with the same camera that he was using, and you could tell like just watching the monitors was so fun. Like, oh my god, this looks so good. Like when you have good cinematography, it makes such a big difference with how you're watching the film, and that's the key thing I've learned too is to have a great director of photography. And like
Greg was amazing on this.
Yeah,
I cannot stress that enough. He did such a good job. Yeah, Greg Bennett, everybody.
Yeah, good job. Like he did a great job. And I think two of my favorite shots that were done were the stair shot with the crane, I believe, and probably the one where you turn your head when you hear the phone ringing. I think those. But then also someone in the live chat too. One of my things I'm really happy about that they did in the movie with Shelby was have her in the bag, like Claire, like near the end. And that was a great shot too, because it was just so still. And actually, this is actually a good question that I just thinking about right now. Is that like a still zoomed in, or is that literally like in the moment, just in the moment zooming in?
Yeah.
Rough.
Was it rough?
Tell them, Shelby.
Yeah, tell them all about it.
Yeah. I obviously had to hold my breath, which was not actually the hardest part. Not moving my eyes and not blinking were the two hardest parts, but it was so cold. So it felt like forever that they were zooming in. And also it was like the last shot of the night. So it was like, I don't know, maybe like 6:30 or 7 in the morning. We were kind of like past our wrap time. And so it was like, kind of felt like a lot of pressure because it's like everyone is tired. Everyone wants to go to bed.
Yeah.
We need to get the shot. We can't be out here for like 10 takes. So there was a couple shots where I had to like cut in the middle because I could tell I was like, oh, I moved my eyes. Great. That's not going to work. But I was like vibrating because my body was just like, please breathe. Please do something. Because we'd cut, I guess in the original, what they did is they cut a hole.
Yeah.
And then shoved the hole into her mouth so she could still breathe. But it was too cold out, so you could see it like immediately the first time we tried that. It was fog in the bag, which is not a good look if you're trying to pretend that you're dead. So we tried that a couple times, but ultimately I just had to hold my breath. And then for the last take that we did, I couldn't find the hole. So I said, shut up, get my mouth and go. We're gonna get it.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah. I was like, we can't be out here for 10 minutes finding the hole in this plastic bag to put in my mouth. So
totally forgot. Didn't we cut it? And then we were like,
yeah,
here
we had to get a new bag for
the
second half because there was too much condensation inside, so it was like wet in the bag.
It was honestly painful to watch. I remember watching it just being like, ooh.
But I couldn't breathe because the scene, like, Caro was dragging Victoria out of the car, but then it shoots to me, and because there was no, like, if I would have been breathing before, you would have seen it in the bag. So I was like, Caro, you need to hurry. You need to get this girl out of the car. The zoom has to happen faster. I'm trying not to blink or cry because then if I cry, that screws it up too. Yeah.
It doesn't help. I was just dead weight. and like just. I had a great time.
Were all you, Malaika and Victoria, were you there when they were shooting that scene for Shelby?
I was. Were you sleeping?
I was good, okay? Like, I don't know what it was. I'm anemic, right? So like,
okay.
and I'm always tired, so I couldn't stay up. I'm like, tell me how it goes after. I'm gonna have to sleep. They're like, okay. I'll sleep with you guys. I'll sleep. But I heard it was amazing and it looked amazing, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it was just painful to watch. Yeah, Caro and I were like, I was like leaning on her, and then they zoomed in on Shelby, and I could see her through the window, and I was like, how is she doing that? How's she doing that with her face?
Well, Dave took a picture of us, and I have the bag on my head.
Yeah.
That's what I had.
And when I looked at the picture afterwards, like, that's my face, that's my head, but it doesn't look like me. Even I was like, that's not, I know that that's me because like my head was in that bag.
But did you put on makeup to look dead?
I did, which like, I don't know that you can really tell.
Oh, I could
but
see.
it made me feel dead. So.
Make you like look pale, like a pale look?
Yeah, I like paled out everything. But yeah, no, it was fun. It was a cool scene to shoot.
Oh man,
Yeah.
It's funny that we're talking about this because I actually did the same type of death scene in my short to pay homage to the original, and we couldn't do it with the eyes open. It was too hard, so we ended up getting our person to shut her eyes. It was like it's just because in one take you see her eyes moving, like you said, that happened to you. Because like it's like the scene that we did was like probably maybe close to 2 minutes, like a straight shot, no cuts.
Yeah.
And when it was happening, like I guess when you're in the moment with other things happening around you, or just want to look to see what's happening. So yeah, closing the eye was better. But man, I give you props for holding your breath and keeping your eyes open because that was not an easy task to do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was an experience for sure.
For you guys, do you guys want to continue doing more work in the horror genre, or do you guys have any other type of genres that you prefer to work on as far as film goes?
I guess I'll go. Yeah, I mean, I've always just been a really big fan of horror, so it's just, I don't know, it's something that I really like doing. So I definitely would work in horror again. But I also, I don't know, I just kind of do everything. I mean, most of my stuff is in horror. It just happens to be that way. But I also really enjoy doing drama. But I'm also a huge comedy girl. I love doing comedy. So yes, I would like to stay in horror, and I'd be happy to stay in horror. But I do like doing all the other genres as well. But like I said in the other live that I did, I think it was with Malaika, it's just horror can accommodate so many different genres in one.
Yes.
You know, you can have comedy in horror, so you can have a good moment of comedy in there. Or you could have a really dramatic emotional scene within the horror. But then you could also have the eeriness of the horror. So I feel like horror just kind of can cross all boxes. So as an actor, that's really juicy and exciting to dive into, to cover all those bases. But yeah, I like horror, but I'm also open to all the other stuff.
For me, a lot. This is the first horror film I've ever done. And it was so much fun. I really loved it. I would definitely do horror again. I typically do more dramas, thrillers, things like that. And that's kind of what I really like to sink my teeth into. But kind of like Victoria was saying, like I would just really love to explore a wider range of genres in general. Yeah. And so getting my toes wet in horror, I'd love to do different types of horror films. Like this one, like you said, is kind of a break and enter style. I'd love to try other styles of horror as well. But to a certain extent, it's kind of take whatever comes. I just love to be performing. So anything that I can kind of get my hands on is going to be the direction I go in, at least for now.
Yeah, I totally agree with the ladies. You know, whatever comes our way, we can only hope that we play characters that are well-rounded, multifaceted, interesting, no matter if they're a villain, anti-hero, or a hero, or even like a smaller part, right? I think any character has something special to them, but we can only hope that they have substance to them.
Mhm.
So yeah, I love horror. Horror is one of my favorite genres, but I think personally I do love drama a lot more. But then again, like Victoria said, we spoke in our other live about horror can encompass so many different kinds of genres,
Mm.
acting styles, and storylines. I think if the storyline is good, no matter what genre, I'm in. You know, so I'm here for the ride.
Yeah. And it's a good segue that we talked about here, because my next question was about what kind of qualities in a character you look for when auditioning for a role. And you kind of just talked about that briefly, Malaika. So for you guys, is that an important thing to you?
It's a good question.
I think it's important to find things that you connect with, or that you want to try to connect with in any character. Like when I'm looking through auditions, I'm often looking at roles that interest me and are different from things that I've done before, so that I can always be trying new things and getting into a new mindset, whether I can directly relate to those characters or whether it's just something that, like a mindset that I really want to push myself to try to get into, and just sort of expand all of those different personality types, and explore those character traits, both in terms of emotionally and physically, getting into mannerisms and just like really sitting deep into those characters. But I also think that, I don't know, to an extent, like it's different when you're looking through auditions versus when you're really like sinking your teeth into a character that you've already kind of committed to, because you only get so much when you're looking at auditions, and you bring a lot of that into what you think the character might be like, and you're kind of projecting your own ideas onto that. But I don't know, I'm really intrigued by characters that have a lot of flaws but are still charismatic, maybe don't always like make the right decision, but you're still rooting for them somehow. Like personally, when I watch movies, like those are characters that I find really interesting. So I always kind of try to find some way to bring that same dynamic and interest to any character that I'm playing, even if it is, a little bit more of a base note character, or it is a character that actually has depth written into their story.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly what Shelby said. I mean, when you look at an audition posting, you don't get much, unfortunately. Well, some people do, but most of the time it's, oh, you're a woman in your early to mid 20s and you're brunette, and you are charming, and I can't even think of other things to say right now, but it's very bland.
Fun-loving, energetic.
Yes, energetic. Yes. Exactly. You know. Yes. So yeah, you really don't get anything. And then it's only when you submit and then get accepted for an audition that you get to read the script. So I would say when submitting myself for parts, I mainly see if I fit into the criteria that they gave me, which isn't much. And then I'll read the script, and sometimes there's not much direction into what the character's supposed to be like. So like Shelby said, you kind of project what you think the character would be like. And I just kind of try to, like Shelby said, just relate as much as I can to that character, because in the end, that's who I'm playing, and this is what I'm going to bring to the table if I do play this character. So yeah, I mean, like Shelby, I'm really interested in, I don't know. I've always liked playing a wide range of characters, like from comedy to horror to drama to the villain to the cheerleader to the, I just like to sink my teeth into a bunch of different characters. But as long as I can relate to them, there's been a few auditions where I get the script, I'm like, I don't really quite connect with that character. Yeah, I don't click with that character, and I know that. Yeah. So I can't think of a specific example, but there's definitely more characters you click with than you don't click with. Yeah. I don't know if that really answers your question.
Oh, it did. Yeah, that was well detailed.
Thank you.
Oh, you, Malaika?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think playing a whole bunch of different kinds of characters in an acting career is just so much fun. Sink your teeth in so many ways that you can show your true self. Just like Shelby said, when you tackle a role, you bring a little bit of yourself to that character. And so, yeah, I definitely love the kind of anti-hero kind of role. Like I'm thinking about, what am I thinking about? Breaking Bad, Heisenberg, Walter White. Like he's like very much an anti-hero, like you root for him, but he's kind of off the pace a little bit, I love that. Like he's a deeply flawed character, and I like characters like that where you can root for them, but you can be so critical about them. They're not perfect. They're perfect. Yeah, so I just love characters that again have substance to them, and that have a story. Sure.
Good answer, guys. Yeah, that was well detailed, and everyone's different. I think like what you said, Victoria, about when you read a script, that's really when you'll know, because otherwise, you wanna feel like you can get in that character's shoes, and you kind of know, I guess, because I guess when you're an actor, you kind of put your own life experiences into that role as well. So yeah, it's good. And as far as an actor or actress, who is someone you hope to work with one day? Like, who's your dream person to work with on a film?
I feel like Malaika's ready to go for this one.
Who knows? Viola Davis for sure.
Yes,
just brilliant. There's so many actors that I love to watch, in our other live, I think it was with Victoria, I said how we watch things like Law and Order or any kind of random show, but for me, Law and Order, they have like special guests every week, and sometimes you don't even know their names. They're new and upcoming, and I just think they're brilliant. I feel like any actor that shows themselves in a role is worth giving a chance to, and is inspiring to me. But Viola Davis, for sure, she's just brilliant, and it'd be an honor to work with her. Her resume is ridiculous, like theater to film and TV. Yeah.
Awesome. You okay there, Victoria?
Yeah. My laptop is 5%. I just subtly go plug it in.
Okay. You almost, if Malaika had talked for like a half a second more, you would have been good.
I would have covered you. Sorry.
I know, like I was like, I don't know if Steven could see me, but I was like, okay, this is my moment. And then because it wasn't going in the wall. It's stressful.
Oh boy.
Anyways.
You're good now, though?
Pardon?
I said you're good now?
I'm good now. Yes, Viola Davis. I agree. She's great. Goodness. But yeah, I would say for me, I was thinking about this actress the other day, actually. I saw a post on Facebook about Helena Bowman Carter and how much she gets a lot of recognition, but she doesn't get enough love. I don't know. There was a post about she doesn't get enough credit for when she was in Harry Potter and she was playing Hermione as herself, playing Hermione or something. Anyways, I just think she's amazing. Like she did Shakespeare. She was a stage actress for Shakespeare. I'm a big fan of Shakespeare. I studied Shakespeare for 4 years of university and also throughout my youth. So I really respect actors who can really pull off the classical theater or even on TV. I think she played Ophelia in Hamlet, and she played in Twelfth Night. And then she was also in a bunch of different Shakespeare shows in theater, not even just Shakespeare, a bunch of different classical theater pieces. But then she was also Bellatrix in Harry Potter, but she was also in Sweeney Todd as Mrs. Lovett. Tim Burton character. She's done such a wide range, but she can do the realistic, right? She can be real, and then she can do stage. And then she can do some crazy character like Bellatrix Lestrange. It's just her range is crazy to me, and she's been in so much stuff. Her resume is insane, and I think she's just so talented. I can't say enough good things about her. So I'd love to work with her just to see. I just want to observe her Like, how do you do that? You're so good. Yeah, I have to say her.
Totally. This is like a hard question to answer for me because kind of like what Victoria was just saying, like, I feel like I learn so much every single time that I'm on set and when I'm working with other people, that there's so many people that I would want to learn from. And when I watch them in films, like, I'll probably, after this interview, I'll be like, man, I should have said that person, because like, I just want to watch them do their thing and learn from them and see how they react in this moment and how they control their body and their facial expressions and their microfacial expressions. So that's tough. I feel like every time I watch a movie, there's one person that's like, man, I want to be a scene partner with that person. If I had to pick one person, my favorite actor is Mads Mikkelsen. I think he is amazing. So I guess I would pick him because I think he's phenomenal. I would just love to like absorb just even an ounce of his aura. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So many teachers, so many just talented people just that I would love to learn from.
Yeah, for sure. I know, it kind of I think shadowing, or like, if I know, like the actress had a my short. She does a lot of work as being an extra, but she likes to observe. She likes to sit and watch these other stars do what they do and observe it. Because I think that's important too, because you kind of get something out of it for yourself as becoming a better and stronger actor, right? So, and more developed. Bruce Dale is here, everybody. Hey, Bruce. He says, hey, everybody, I hope you're doing well. Shout out to these fabulous, amazing ladies. You're awesome and talented. It was such a joy to work with you. Dave and I had so much fun.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
We missed you.
So much. Oh my gosh. The best. The best.
Thanks, Bruce, for stopping by. And, I was saying earlier today, if you were here early in the show, but I was saying that, you and Dave did a phenomenal job. And I'm really pumped to see what you guys do next. Hopefully you guys can maybe make a sequel to this film. It'd be awesome to see where the story could go. But kudos to you for making a true sequel to Black Christmas. Me and the fans appreciate it. So thanks, guys. And we'll do a couple more questions here. And I'll try to we'll do a couple more fan questions as well. But I know a lot of people, they usually have, I remember watching the stream with Dave and Victoria. You said your favorite film was Halloween. Your favorite horror film, I should say. Original 78. Mine is as well. And I was wondering, what are yours guilty pleasure movie that you like watching that no one, like people that hate it?
I saw this question, okay, and I forgot to think of an answer.
Okay, fine. I guess I'll go.
Take it away, Shelby.
Wish I didn't have a list.
I have a long one.
I am not a movie snob. I love good acting, but I also really like B movies a lot. So to cut that list down, like every Sunday when I was younger, living at home, my dad and I would just like spend the whole day watching the Space Channel. And like, I think one was called Dune. It wasn't Dune, because I do love that as well. And it's like a cult movie. It's a cult movie. I love Dune. But this was like about giant earthworms as well, but it was horrible. But it was a fun watch. B movies aside, some of my guilty pleasures that I think are great films, but are just not everyone's cup of tea. I feel like it's like a love or hate situation. I really love The Dark Crystal and The Labyrinth. Those are some of my favorite movies. They're really not for everyone, but I love them. I love them a lot.
Malaika.
Oh, days. I don't know. Okay, I don't remember. Okay. I think people like this film. I watched it in film class, and I'm blanking right now of the name. How about the director?
What's it about?
Oh my God, it was in black and white. It's the most strange film.
Is it the Eraser film? Is it Eraserhead?
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead.
Terrible. Hate it. Hate it.
Listen, I think it is so strangely brilliant, but I get so disturbed every time I think about it.
Terrible movie.
I don't know, maybe because like my prof was obsessed with it, and like we did an essay on it and broke it down about like what was the meaning of this, like what was the representation of this, the perspective of this, why was the baby doing that? I don't know, it was weird, but
Sometimes I get that song stuck in my head.
Stop. Don't sing it. That is the most terrifying.
So I would say, I don't know, like I feel people like that film. I don't know. I didn't like read reviews on that. I don't know if people like that or not, but
I hated it.
I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
You're a very passionate hater. That is the scariest movie I have ever seen because I didn't understand it.
It is. It's.
And then that girl started singing, was it Tiptoe or whatever? That was, I'm out.
I'm gonna write my essay on it.
I did not write my essay on that specifically because it was the worst movie I've ever seen.
I still need to see it. I have it on DVD though.
So it'll ruin you. I couldn't stop thinking about it for like a week. I had nightmares. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Oh my God. Would that be your answer too, Victoria?
Yeah. Now. Wait, no, that's not a guilty pleasure.
No. I still remember it like I watched it yesterday. I watched it once in first year in my film class. I was I unfortunately have a really long list of guilty pleasures. They're the ones where when people ask you like what you watched that night, you don't really want to tell them because you know they'll judge you. I see my biggest guilty. Okay. I do like Halloween is my favorite movie, but it's also my favorite like holiday. I love Halloween, and growing up, I always watched those like those Disney Channel movies, you know, like the Family Channel.
Family Channel.
Yeah, like I love Halloween Town.
I
said it.
Halloween
I love
Town.
it. It is it makes me so happy. I watch it like probably 10 times, maybe more, every Halloween. I love Halloween Town. I love Twitches. I love Hocus Pocus. I love, what else do I love? Haunted Mansion, but obviously that's just a masterpiece. All of those like hokey Disney Halloween movies were my favorite movie, and I will still watch them and be like, this is a brilliant film. And I showed it to my kids because I had camp kids like a few years ago, and I made them watch it. And they hated it. They're like, this is the stupidest movie. These kids, you could tell they're in costumes. And other than that, I agree that's a terrible movie, but I still enjoy watching Twilight.
Twilight? Oh no.
It's terrible. I agree. Horrible movie. Will I watch it again and again when I'm bored? Definitely. Definitely. Terrible acting, terrible movie, horrible plot. I love it.
I remember I rented that from Blockbuster when it came out.
I bought it.
Yeah.
The day it came out, I'm like,
I just want to see what all the hype was about. Like, and then I watched it. That was probably like 10 years ago. That was a long
terrible.
time ago.
Horrible movie. Hate it.
God.
Guilty pleasure.
Hocus, you know, it's funny. I haven't watched, obviously, that Family Channel. Man, I don't know how long. It's been a long time since I watched the Family Channel, but I remember Halloween Town and the Skeleton Driver. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I watch Hocus Pocus every year. I love that movie.
I love Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun
Quality stuff, guys.
We wrap up here shortly. I'm going to do a couple fan questions, and then we're going to close off by, seeing what you guys are up to, any upcoming projects you guys want to promote. Let's see here in the chat. What's going on? Just going to skim through here quickly. Someone asked, where is it here? Sorry, guys. Ryan, he asked, what was the vibe like on set? And then also Mark asked, what was the most fun scene to shoot for you guys? So go to hand in hand, those questions.
I mean,
Okay.
it was a great vibe on set.
What did you say?
I said it was good vibes on set.
Oh, yeah. It was really good vibes, despite it being a spooky house where there's a horrible history that Dave didn't tell us about until like the third last day.
Yeah.
Beside the history of the house and it being a really spooky house from the 1800s, the vibes were good.
Yeah.
They weren't spooky. Only at night when it was spooky when you're like alone. But the vibes in general were just so fun. Honestly, most times on set, there's times when you just get stressed and everyone just gets really stressed. But then on set, everyone was so chill. Dave and Bruce were so chill. Even if they ran into an issue, it was more like, okay, how do we deal with this? Instead of like oh my God, it was just it was dealt with very calmly. So the vibe was very chill, but it was also very fun. Like the girls and I got to just hang out the whole 2 weeks, 1 week of filming. We just got to hang out the whole time. And then we got to hang out with Dave and Bruce, we got to hang out with the crew, and everyone was just so nice and so fun to work with that, the vibes were just really fun, very professional, and very chill. Yeah, and a little spooky at times.
Yeah, I agree. It was good vibes. Everyone was so nice to work with, and sometimes you don't always get that, and that's just showbiz. But this set was it felt like family. Everyone was just passionate about what they were doing, and that just made it even more special. I'm sorry. And favorite scene to shoot, right?
Oh, I forgot to answer that one.
Right, I like blanked for a second. Favorite scene? Was it favorite or most fun scene?
Most fun, I believe.
Fun. Yeah. Oh, they were all so much fun. Anything with the girls was just a blast. But I guess fun specifically, I guess, was my death scene. That was fun.
So good.
Death scenes are always fun, right? So that was really cool to do. Brian Peter, who plays Billy, he was fantastic. He was a great scene partner to work with. I felt comfortable working with him because it was a very physical scene. And Dave and Bruce were so great too on the sidelines, asking if I was okay. And it was just so much fun. Like we just went right into it. I was like, let's just go for it. Like, let's just have fun with it. Let's not hold back. So that was a lot of fun for me. A lot of fun.
Actually, quick note before we shift to the other person. I actually was curious about that scene. How did they shoot that with the actor that played Billy? How was that all done and coordinated with doing the stabbing and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So we Dave and Bruce just asked us to kind of just go for it when we were practicing it twice. So we did it first once just to see how it would look. Dave was like, okay, give me 50%. And we ended up giving him 75% because it just happened. Like, you know what I mean? The vibes were just there. So yeah, I was just on the bed, Billy on top of me. And I told him like, okay, just don't hold back. And he said, are you cool? Like, is this comfortable? Are my arms okay? So the communication is very important when you're doing a physical scene like that. So, he's an amazing actor, an amazing human being. He's so funny, so sweet. So it was easy for me to kind of dip into Justine about to die. So yeah, it was really cool because also there was a board that Dave and Bruce told me to put on my chest. So when Brian was stabbing me, it felt more authentic that he didn't have to kind of stop in midair. So he didn't full blown dag the boards because that probably would hurt, but it was easier for him to kind of get into character. So yeah, there was a board on my chest, and the second time around when we were rehearsing it, it felt a lot better. So they were just like, okay, do you guys feel comfortable? Let's just go in for it. And so we went in for it. And that's what you saw on screen. It was so much fun to do. The crazy maniac laugh that he did wasn't really written in, I don't think, but it just came out. Brian was like, all right, let's just go with it. So he did that. I think it added to it. It was so much fun to hear that as I was being stabbed to death. and the kind of silhouette shot that you guys saw in the film, it wasn't intentional either. So that was an also really cool thing that came out of that scene. As you see him from behind, stabbing me and laughing, that shot was just so cool that Victoria and Shelby and everyone else who were watching it on the monitor were just like, whoa, like, this is crazy. It looks so cool. Yeah, so that's kind of how it went. It was so much fun. Would 10 out of 10 do it again.
Movie magic.
Resurrected, you know, if I was, yeah.
only if Victoria's character that wasn't listening to music, she might have survived for the sequel.
Why do I have to go into the attic?
Really, girl? Come on. Come
I
on.
don't have to go into the attic.
Run out the front door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Malaika answered, thanks for going into depth about how that scene was done. I was always curious about that. I'm surprised I actually didn't think about that sooner. But to expand on the other question too, for what they asked in the live chat here, for you, Victoria, what was the most fun scene for you to shoot?
Yeah, so a lot of my scenes, as you saw, were very heavy. So it was nice when I was with the girls and, you know, Sam could kind of relax a little and have a good time. So I would definitely say I love the deep scenes. I'm not saying I didn't like them, but the most fun was probably I liked the dining room scene, but I also I think the scene that was most fun was the scene where we were sitting on the couch, because I remember we were super sleepy, and Emma, who was our production manager, she made really good hot chocolate, really good hot chocolate. And I remember saying to Dave, I was like, hey, I'm really tired, and Emma makes really good hot chocolate. Like, can we have hot chocolate in the scene? And then he kind of went, sure, why not? So then that was definitely my the fun scene, because I got to have my hot chocolate and we were all cuddled up, and you know, it was fun, the face, and we had some jokes in there, and it was just fun being with the girls in the scene. And we also got to decorate that tree ourselves, so having that in the scene was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was my favorite one. It was that was a fun one.
What were you guys actually watching on that screen? Were you watching anything and then just the voiceover of that movie played over with when they were editing it? Or were you guys actually watching something on the computer?
I don't know what the audio is that they used, but
I don't know what the audio is.
One of the Walking Dead things.
Yeah. I think it was the first episode of The Walking Dead. We wanted to watch Hereditary, but they told us it was too dark.
Yeah, it was too dark.
Yeah.
So Walking Dead was much brighter.
Brightness. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. How about you, Shelby? What was the most fun for you?
I think, my death scene was, it's not really a death scene, I guess, as much as it is like me showing me dead. That was fun, but that was more like a fun challenge. So I think for me, the most fun scene that we did, I would say actually like the dinner scene and the sofa scene where we're watching the movie were of course very fun as well. But I had a really good day. Our first day shooting, we shot the scene in the car, and it was just like the three of us girls in the car the whole day, and it was freaking freezing. And so we would just like turn the car on between takes and try to like warm up our hands and our feet, and it was kind of brutal, but it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were spoiled. The poor crew. We're like, oh, we're so cold. We're in this heated car.
We're like, it's cold. Crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone in the live chat for submitting your questions. I can't get to all of them, but we're gonna close it off here. I just wanted to ask you girls, how is an interest while you're not working on film productions, and what's next for you guys? What are you guys up to?
I love writing. I love writing. I feel like there's so many things, but I would say I do love writing stories, screenwriting. I did that a lot in university as well, and outside of university for myself, So yeah, hobbies, interests. Yeah, I love watching movies. I feel like we all do too. Like you will catch me in the theater 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm excited that the theaters are open again. I don't have to stream all the movies anymore. Yeah, definitely, for sure. And as for next projects, I have one called For Her coming out probably next year, a short film, as well as Fresh Meat that may be on CBC Gem next year. Fingers crossed. That's a horror one. And then another one called Taboo. That should be out, I think, next year too. I think they're all coming around at the same time. About a young boy who's going through mental health issues and, just about how he's navigating that through his religion and the community. So, yeah, I'm excited for those to come out.
Great.
I'll go next, so Victoria, you can end us all.
Ooh, I get to end. Nice.
As far as things, I work full time. I'm a visual merchandiser, so that takes up a lot of my time and my energy when I'm not performing. But when I actually have time to myself, I really love not only watching movies, and I actually watch movies while I do this, but I really love to like draw and sketch and paint. So any of those kind of like fine tactile arts I really love as well. And upcoming projects for me, I have one short film that is currently being submitted, so it might be out later this year. We'll see. It's called Eggs in Hell. And then I am filming currently, hopefully there will be more things to come. But as of right now, I will be filming a couple different shorts throughout the year, one in the fall. I think I can probably say what they're called. One is called Candy Baby and one is called Sister. So those will probably be out and about in the world next year. So stay tuned for those eventually. That's kind of what I have in the works at the moment.
Awesome. And Shelby, it's funny you say that. I'm going to be working with you then. I'm working on Sugar Baby too. Or yeah.
Candy Baby?
Yeah, Candy Baby.
No, really?
Yeah, I'm doing like all the marketing for the film. So
that's so funny.
I'm like co-producing, so I might be there one day on that. So
are you gonna be there next weekend?
I don't know. No, that he told me I was in touch with the guy. They're filming at the promo next week. We'll see how that turns out. I don't think I'm gonna go next week, but maybe eventually once I start filming, because I think we're gonna do like crowdfunding and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Okay, well, it will be nice to work with you.
Yeah, awesome. And Victoria, for you, hobbies and interests, and what's next for you?
Yeah, wow, that's a small world. That's so weird. That's the odds of that happening. Yeah, so hobbies, interests. I really like exercising and working out. Like, I love doing that. I do it daily. It's like my thing. Although I haven't done it in a while. So I hope to get back on it. Yikes. So I like doing that. I also really like to read. I'm a huge reader. Like watching movies, and I like singing and playing guitar. That's also my thing. I know Shelby didn't even mention singing. She's a singer.
Oh yeah, I do that too. But I don't really have anything coming up.
Yeah, but it's still like your thing, you know? I was like, why didn't she say that?
And
I'll say it for you. So those are also my hobbies. I don't do it like professionally like Shelby does, but I did do a lot of singing lessons growing up and everything, and guitar lessons. So that's what I do for fun. Wait, what was the other? Oh, right. What's coming up? I have a couple of things coming out. I have one of my commercials out right now on TV, so you might see my face. I have a short film that I don't entirely know when it's coming out. As we know with short films, sometimes they take a while. I'm assuming either by the end of this year or next year. I still haven't seen it. I haven't really heard much about the progress of it. So end of this year and next year. Also, there's a couple of what's it called? Like TV show kind of things that I did for like true crime kind of docudrama kind of. One of them is out on Netflix, and then the other two should be coming out by the end of the year. I tried to Google it after my last interview because I didn't know. So probably by the end of the year, the other two should be coming out. And then also just a bunch of fashion shows coming out now that hopefully we're allowed to do those, I think. we're confirmed. We haven't gotten the official email yet, but I'm pretty sure with all the restrictions and everything, we're allowed to at least have half capacity at our shows now. Pardon?
Yeah, no, I'm saying no. Yeah, certain like capacity are allowed now.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten the official email, but I do have quite a few fashion shows coming up. I'm so excited because I haven't been able to do them since before the pandemic. So I'm really excited. So those will be in Toronto, and there's like a bunch of shoots and stuff like that coming up too. But the shows are in Toronto, and that's something you could go see if you really wanted to. But the shoots are more just for me and the photographer and whatever brand we're doing. So yeah.
That's so cool, guys. Well, I'm excited to see what you guys are up to next, and like, you know, hopefully I'll get to work with you guys one day. I know I'll be working with Shelby now. I can't. That should be fun. And anyone that wants to stay connected and see what they're up to, all the links are down below. If you guys want to check them out on Instagram, give them a follow, and also check them out on IMDb, where all their credits are, and for, you know, which you can find their upcoming projects on there. And as far as that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys in the live chat for tuning in and asking all your questions. I appreciate you, Victoria, Malaika, and Shelby for stopping by tonight. It was lots of fun. And, you know, as I said, I can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Have a good night, everybody. And if you guys want to keep connected and see and hear updates and updates about my show, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Geek Out Cinema, and also subscribe to the channel. All right, guys. I'll see y'all real soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.